the mortgage offering that's leaving the elderly high and dry.
I couldn't quite believe what seemed to be the reality. The bank had given my mother a line of credit.
Honestly, you'd have to be out of your mind to sign a contract like that.
There appears to be, I'd say, predatory lending, which is targeting elderly people.
Also, Lynn Dawson's family reacts to her former husband's arrest.
I think we were all quite shocked initially because it's been 36 years that we've been waiting for something to happen, and that's just priceless to us.
And Ita's advice to her younger self.
Don't let anyone talk you out of your dreams. Believe in yourself and believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else can believe in you.
The Banking Royal Commission uncovered a series of scandals in the industry, but something we've not heard a lot about are so-called reverse mortgages. That's when you're able to unlock equity in the family home to borrow against the asset. You don't need to make repayments until the house is sold or the owner moves out or dies. A number of banks, including Australia's biggest lender, the Commonwealth Bank, are now getting out of the reverse mortgage market after criticism from the peak financial regulator ASIC. Tonight, 7:30 delves into two cases where customers say they weren't aware of the pitfalls of the contracts they signed, leaving them hundreds of thousands of dollars worse off. This report from Consumer Affairs reporter Amy Bainbridge.
I like this one of you.
Marion Ray's 93-year-old mum, Margaret Kerins, now lives in a nursing home in inner Western Sydney. But for years she lived independently, often returning to her isolated cottage on the Hawkesbury River.
She was amazing. She was a university tutor. Then she went off and did research in Fiji. She was an anthropologist. You're looking good. She went into aged care just after her 84th birthday. It was in clearing the house, tidying up and trying to sort out her paperwork and get things in order for her. And I couldn't quite believe what seemed to be the reality, that the bank had given my mother a line of credit.
Marion realised her mother had taken out a reverse mortgage. Reverse mortgages allow people aged over 65 to borrow against the equity in their home and typically do not need to be repaid until the customer sells the home or dies. Margaret had taken out two reverse mortgages, one with St George and then one with the Commonwealth Bank, which was later topped up. Margaret had received no independent legal or financial advice for the Commonwealth Bank loan. She used some of the money to pay for her medical expenses. Doctors' reports show at the time she was starting to suffer memory loss and would later develop dementia.
So I don't know how she could have got through an interview without somebody noticing that she was seriously impaired at that time.
Her mum's debt ballooned from $73,000 to nearly $200,000, much of it in compound interest. With no repayments made, Margaret now owes $380,000 to the Commonwealth Bank. Marion complained to the Ombudsman, who found the bank had loaned irresponsibly, but determined that Margaret had received some benefit from the loan and reduced the amount owing to $260,000.
It's 2 percentage points above the ordinary mortgage. So they not only grab these old people whose homes they can get, they charge more interest than they would charge an ordinary person who's going to be able to work and pay it off. And there appears to be, I'd say, predatory lending, which is targeting and abusing elderly people.
The Commonwealth Bank has told 7:30,
"We are sorry that Ms Kerins' daughter is not happy with her mother's reverse mortgage that originated in 2004. We have reached out to Ms Kerins and her daughter and wish to work with them to resolve their concerns."
There are more than 23,000 reverse mortgages in Australia, worth a total of $2.5 billion. The corporate watchdog ASIC warned as recently as August that reverse mortgages should be treated with caution, a call supported by the Council of the Ageing.
With a reverse mortgage, you're taking a lump of money, you're not paying anything back, and the interest is added on to what you owe, and then it keeps growing. And people don't understand that as the years go by, that compounding really takes your equity away very quickly.
All we wanted money for was to try and survive.
Margaret Avis and her husband Peter believe their retirement could have been far more comfortable if they'd never signed up to a reverse mortgage. When they moved their severely autistic son Tim home from a residential facility, money was tight, so they met with a broker.
He said it would be a very, very positive way forward for us. It was all very positive stuff. And we'd be able to do lots of things.
The Avis family took out a $90,000 loan in 2005 that was paid in monthly instalments of $1,500. They increased the loan by $13,000 in 2010 to make ends meet.
We were so grateful to know that we were going to get some money to survive, that we didn't really focus on the future, what would happen if we had to get out of the mortgage. Just sit down here.
Margaret and Peter's son Tim passed away, and when Peter was 77 years old and developing dementia, they decided to move to a retirement village in 2014. Then they were presented with their contract, which had a clause showing they needed to pay a break fee the bank had calculated at $150,000 on top of the loan costs, leaving them with a $330,000 bill.
Honestly, you'd have to be out of your mind to sign a contract like that. I think in our situation we were just so exhausted after caring for Tim. We were absolutely devastated.
After taking out a $103,000 reverse mortgage, the Avises paid out the $330,000 loan with the proceeds of the sale of their home. The lender, Bluestone, told 7:30 it would not comment on the Avises' case. Back on the Hawkesbury, Marion Ray says she will keep fighting her mother's case. She writes to the Commonwealth Bank most weeks asking for the debt to be cancelled.
They should be stopped. The bank should not get away with this.